now we are going to see how to create Aurora RDS instance. Okay, how to create Aurora RDS instance. So RDS Aurora Lab is, so basically we are going to create Aurora RDS instance. Let's see how to create it. Okay, so go to Chrome, like 1 second. Okay, come here, just click on services, come down, go to RDS instances, RDS service. Okay, so click on DB instances. We have this one. Now we will create Aurora instance, right? So just click create database. So Aurora is a just basically it's a cluster, friends. Under cluster you can have a multiple databases. That is up to you how many databases you want to maintain. So standard create and easy create, as we discussed, standard create means you will have a more customization. Easy create means most of the configuration it will take it as a default. So it will be easy for you to create. That's why this name is easy create. Next, Aurora instance, select Aurora instance, come down. So Aurora is compatible with two things. One is MySQL, it is compatible with MySQL, it is compatible with PostgreSQL compatibility. Okay, you have both the things, but so why we need when we have MySQL and PostgreSQL is Aurora is you will have a more replicas you can maintain, and you can maintain instance in a multiple regions. Not only two, you can maintain in this instance, you can maintain in 3 availability zones. It will give you better performance if you compare with MySQL and PostgreSQL. Okay, so that's why people will prefer Aurora, but Aurora is specific to AWS. This particular service is available only in AWS. Okay, but other services like SQL Server, these things even you can create in other cloud providers. Next, so version. So this is the version I'm selecting. Region means you are going to launch this particular instance in one particular region. Okay, this Aurora instance you are going to provision or launch only in a single AWS region. Remember, if you are selecting global means, you are going to maintain this particular instance in multiple availability zones. Okay, in a multiple regions, basically not availability zones, multiple regions. We have seen, right, under one region you will have a multiple availability zones, but if you select this, you will have all the instance will be there in a one region. If you go with global, your instance will be there in a multiple regions. So that's how you can provide high availability. Next, so Aurora is not free, friends. You need to make a payment. So this particular instance is you cannot get it for free for practice and all. So that's why I will make a small payment by selecting dev/test. Okay, next, so this is the name of my instance. I need to give the name of my instance. What you can do is cloud Pandit Aurora DB, Aurora cluster, you can say. Okay, come down here, you need to provide the username and password. Let's provide username and password. So this is my user, this is my password. Okay, as we know already. Come down here, you can see if you want to enable any encryption for your DB cluster, you can enable encryption. So as default value is enabling encryption, let it be, no issue, we can maintain the encryptions. Next, so this is basically if you're going with memory optimized classes, it will be large classes, because if you see 32 GB, 16 GB, 488 GB, 128 GB, these are very costly. These are very costly, friends. Okay, large, extra large, all these things. You see, you don't have any small instance, right? So I cannot afford this much. So that's why we will go with the not memory optimized. We will go with the other things. Okay, select memory optimized. Okay, let's select the region here. So if you select region, we will have a something. Yeah, so you just select region, because if you go with global, we will have only memory optimized classes. It will be very costly. That's why let's go with the region here. So when you select region and global, see there are options are getting changed, right? So when you select global, it is not showing whether how many reads you want, how many writes you want, all those options it is not showing. But when you select region, it is showing See, one write and multiple readers, you want multiple writers, you want serverless. So when you will go with one write and multiple readers is, example, if you see when I upload one video into my YouTube channel, multiple people are going to watch. Only one time I will upload, but one time I will write, but many times people are going to read it. Okay, in those cases you need to go with this option. Multiple writers means, example, if you go with Facebook, right, people are going to keep on posting and writing something, so that is keep on writing. In that case you need to go with multiple writers. So serverless means you don't know how many people are going to read, write, and how many so traffic, how many people are going to access this particular instance, then you need to go with the serverless. Okay, when you don't know uh, how many people are going to hit your instance, then you have to go with the serverless. Basically it's a unpredictable workloads. Unpredictable means you are not able to estimate how many people are going to hit your instance. In that case you need to go with the serverless. But what I am going is, I will go with one write and multiple readers. So under this, as I said, right, even you select region or global, doesn't matter. You will have only production and dev test options, but you will not have a free tier option. Let's select dev test. Now I need to give the instance name. What I will do here, Aurora DB Pandit hyphen Aurora cluster. Okay, so this is username, this is my password. Come down here, you see memory optimized classes and bursted classes. Okay, memory optimized classes are, if you see right here, everything is large, you don't have anything small, right? So that's why I don't want to go with memory optimized. I will go with the burstable classes. Here you can say small, medium, everything will be available. Okay, let's go with the small. Okay, so it is very less cost, that's why I'm going with the small. Next, so do you want to, as it is not free tier, right? See, multi-agent deployment is enabled now. So do you want to maintain a multiple copies, then you have to go with the create an Aurora replica or read node in a different agent. So you are maintaining another copy in another availability zone for high availability. But currently I don't want this. Okay, I don't want this, because as you are creating more instances in a
Malaya, can
different
you please
availability
change
zones, you need to
username?
make it.
C is missing. Just
Wait, oh, thank you. Okay, Aurora cluster, come down. So username, password, and this is the class I am selecting. Multi-agent I am not selecting, because as this is for my practice, I don't want to launch it in a multiple availability zone. If you launch it in a multiple availability zone, you will get high availability, but you need to make a more payments, right? So cost will increase. So this is the default VPC. Uncheck this. So default subnet, I want to make this instance publicly accessible. Select S. Okay, this is the default security groups and availability zone, in which availability zone you want to launch. All those things you have. This is the port number. Click on additional configurations. So this is your initial DB. Okay, here whatever name you have given, right, this is your cluster name. Okay, Aurora cluster. So come down here. Okay, here, so you can have a one in identifier, friends. What it is, DB instance. So what you can do, Aurora DB. So I will say this is Aurora DB. My initial database in this is sample. My database is sample. I am creating a sample database in it. Okay, cluster parameters, all those things are default, you cannot change anything here. Okay, so as per your version, you need to these things will come automatically, you don't need to worry about that. So backup, suppose if you want to maintain last 7 days backup, you can say 7 days, or if you want only last 1 day backup, you can maintain last 1 day backup. So if you want to maintain any encryptions, all those things, backtrack means suppose when data is corrupted, you want to go back to 2 days or 3 days, and you want to restore data. Last 72 hours data you want to maintain. Maybe you want to go back to last 24 hours or last 48 hours, you can go back and restore your database. So all those options are common for all the databases. Okay, so if you want any logs, if you want to send it to the CloudWatch, you can enable those things. Okay, as we discussed, right, maintenance window, suppose any updates or patches wants to install on this particular instance, so when will suitable for your for you as per your business. So you have to give that particular time. Currently, as this is for practice, I don't want to set any preference. Just click create database. Okay. See now what happened here, friends. So this is the cluster, this is the DB. Remember. So that's why I have given here clearly Cloud Pandit iPhone Aurora cluster. This is Aurora DB. Okay. Under cluster, you will have multiple databases. Okay. Remember, friends. So now if you see these two are creating, you need to wait a while to connect to this particular instance. But how you are going to connect to this Aurora instance is you need to install a MySQL workbench, because this is compatible with MySQL, right? Aurora compatible with MySQL DB, a MySQL instance, that particular cluster we have created. So here you need a MySQL workbench to connect to this particular instance. For that, I want to install a MySQL workbench. Where I'm going to install MySQL workbench is I don't want to install in my local machine. For that, I will create a one more EC2 instance. Click launch instance. Okay, here you can select Windows, select it. Okay, this is the micro instance configure. So let me enable public IP, click add storage, default storage, add tags. This one I can give name as Aurora VM. Okay, so click configuration settings. So this is the RDP port we need to enable if you want to connect to the VM, not to the Aurora DB instance. If you want to connect to VM, we need to enable 3389. Click preview launch, click launch. So let's create a new key. So this key name I can say Aurora VM key. VM key. Okay. Let's download this key, save it, come down and launch this instance. Okay. So click on this. Okay, click on this. So that will come up, but let's go and get our key. Where is our key? Our key will be here, Aurora key VM, right? So you can cut it, go to keys and keep this key here. I kept this key here. Now what we have done, friends, we have created Aurora RDS instance. Now we need to install MySQL Workbench tool and dependencies. So how we will install MySQL Workbench and dependencies is we have this is the dependency software VC++ 2015 we need to install before we install MySQL Workbench. So that's why first I will install this particular dependency, then I will install this one. Now let's go to the VM here. See, this is filter applied. Just uncheck, so you'll be able to see all the VM. So we need to connect to this Aurora VM. Select that Aurora VM, then click. This is the public IP. So then you can also select this. Click connect. You can see here something called username. Username is administrator. Okay. Now how to connect to this VM is come here. Select the remote. Okay. Enter remote desktop. Okay, here I need to change the IP address. This is my IP address. I need to get the username. How to get the username is select this VM, click connect. This is the username. Okay, come here and put that username here. Click connect. Now you need to get the password, right? So how to get the password? So again, go to this particular where we need to go is select this VM, click connect. You got the username. Now click get password, click browse. So Aurora, where is Aurora? Aurora VM key. Okay, select that key, decrypt this password. You will get a actual password. Okay, take that password, put it here, click OK, click yes. Okay, let's wait a while. Okay, let's search for server manager. Okay, double click on that. Click local server. Click this enhance security configuration. Click on this. Turn off this. Click OK. Come down. Remove this. Okay, close this particular window. Okay, fine. Whether it is closing or not doesn't matter. If possible, you can close it. Otherwise, leave it. Okay. Now, open your Internet Explorer. Click on this. So what we need to do, go here. First thing is we need to download the dependencies. Take this dependency, come here. Okay, so remove this and put this URL, enter. Come down. Okay, just click on the 64-bit. Okay, click or not. Directly you can run it. You don't need to save. The software is not required. This exe file you can run directly. Okay, agree the license and license terms and condition. Install it. Okay, so this is installed. Now we need to install the MySQL Workbench. Take this URL here, put these things here, enter. So come down, click download, click no thanks, just start my download. Okay, directly click run. So now we are going to install MySQL Workbench. Click next, 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 install it. Just click finish. So that is finished. Now what you need to do is go to this particular RDS instance. So here, right? So you need to connect. You want to write, right? If you want to write, just click on this. So DB, come down. You can able to see this is the URL. Okay, take this URL. Okay, come here inside. Now MySQL Workbench is installed. Okay, it will open like this once it is installed. Just click plus mark. Then here you have to say this is Aurora connection. So I'm just putting here name of your connection is Aurora connection. So what is your host name? Just now we have copied our endpoint. Endpoint is nothing but this one. Okay. So just select this DB and you will get a endpoint. That endpoint I entered here. Okay. Now port is 3306. If you don't know port, you can see here port 3306. That port will be taken automatically. Username is whatever username and password you have given at the time of creating this instance. Click store in mode. You need to enter password also here. Click OK and test connection. Successfully made the MySQL connection. Now just click OK. Okay. Now click on this connection. It will open a window. If you remember, we have created a sample database where you can check, where you can see that. Go to schema, click on schemas. You can see this is the sample DB. In this, do you have any tables? It is not showing any tables. Now, first thing is just click here. so that this window will be closed. First thing is, let's create a table. How to so before create a table, you have to tell you have a sample database. Do you want to use this sample database? Yes, you have to tell use sample. Use sample means sample db. Okay, run it. Okay, use sample db is fine. Under that, under sample db, I want to create a table. Create table cast cid int cname varchar. If you want to, like, if you want to comment it, you can comment it. Okay, now you can execute. See, create table cast is created. Now you just click on this. This is the refresh button. If you expand this table, see, you can able to see cast. Okay, now if you want to create, if you want to insert data, how to insert? Same, insert into cast values 1 John 2 Sam. Okay, now select this to run it. See, 2 rows inserted. Let's check whether 2 rows inserted or not. How to do that, friends? How to check that? Select star from first, run it. So you are able to see these 2 records. So you are able to see these 2 records. Okay, fine. Now let's update some record. How to update? Update cast cname equal to from John to Johnny. I want to change to Johnny. So do you want to make changes for all the column data, or you want to make a change for particular row? So for particular row where cid equal to 1. So now you can run it. So sorry, here you need to say set cname equal to John. Okay, select this and run it. Okay, so what it is saying, friends, you are using safe update mode. You try to update a table without a this particular thing. So first thing, you can try it like this. Click on edit, click on preferences, click on SQL editor, come down, you can uncheck this option, click OK. Okay, now you can try to execute it. I think still we are getting an error. So yesterday what we have done, friends, we have used some one thing we have used, right? What is that? Set SQL safe update equal to 0. Let's execute it. Okay, so this is the command you need to execute. Now you made this particular save commands to 0, means this is okay. You are allowing these updates and deletions. Okay, now if you execute this update query, this is working. Okay. Now I want to delete it. Let's check after update whether that record is updated or not. You can check it. See, John to Johnny, it has updated. Fine. Now I want to delete that Johnny record. How to delete? Delete from cast where cid equal to 1. Select it, click execute. See, delete from cast where cid equal to 1 is completed. Now let's select this and run it. We'll see what is the data. C2 Sam, one first record got deleted. Fine, this is fine. Now I want to create a new database. Okay, what I wanted to do is I want to create a new database itself. Okay. So how you are going to do? Come down here, you can see create database cloud funded demo. Run it. See, create database cloud pandit demo. It is not showing here because we have not refreshed. Click refresh. See, you are able to see cloud pandit demo. So you don't have any tables. If you want to create any table under this db, just say use this particular db and I want to create table. Okay, test table. So you can say, or you can say employee table eid equal to int ename equal to varchar 50. Varchar 50. Now you need to put semicolon here as you are going to execute 2 statements at once. So select these 2 things and run it, friends. See, done, right? Now if you refresh, you will be able to see table under Cloud Pandit DB. Okay, so this is the basic of when we are creating cluster and initial database, we have created a DB, sample DB, but now we have created Cloud Pandit demo DB as well. So that is depends on requirement, you can create as many DBs as you want. Okay friends, clear? So what we have done here is, one second. Okay, we have seen how to install MySQL Workbench tool and dependencies, how to connect to the Aurora from MySQL Workbench, and we have seen how to perform all these queries on the particular tables. Okay, clear friends? Okay, that's all for today. Thank you.